Hey, how you guys doing? Let's do it to it. Okay, we're gonna be going over a game between White is Manfred Forster and Jeffrey Rowland. Okay. Okay, we gotta go for this right now. D4, D5, E4, E6. Oops, I'm gonna look at it from Roland's side of the board. Okay. Alright, E5. So he went into the advanced. C3. Knight F3. Actually, C6. Knight F3. He played Bishop D7. Bishop D3. And Rook C8. Rook to C8. This is what's actually usually played here. This is the main line. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're going over a game from one of my club people's things. Yeah, it's really cool. It's actually from an article from it's like Northwest Chess. It's an older one, but it has some really good games that I wanted to go over with you, my chess cruncher friends. This is usually what's played, and of course, what usually happens is the bishop comes out to e4, our potential castles. Usually, this is what happens, and at this point, you have knight here. Sometimes you have there and there, and then you have comes here, and then you can actually take, and at this point you have that. So it's kind of an awkward line. Rook c8 and white castled. I didn't really like rook c8 because of one thing. What if black went to castle on the queen side? This kind of is not flexible, and white now has two moves to cause black some chaos. Takes. Knight b4. Now it kind of slightly makes sense that he wants to infiltrate into c2. Knight c3 to shut down the access to the rook. Access denied. Kind of like saying that. Then we actually now win the bishop pair. So in theory, Jeffrey actually won the bishop pair, which with proper play should be a slight victory for black, because he's left with his bad bishop, and we have a bad light squared bishop. Yeah, early today. And we're going to do f6. F6 is actually a playable move here, but because there's really no infiltration in over here, or sorry, here, so potentially f6 is a playable move you could play. Alright. He played bishop b4. Bishop d2 and queen b6. I would have tried. I kind of see what the idea is here, but I don't know. I might have tried this battery here, but I think the the reason he didn't want to pursue this was because of that. And it's just not, you'd have to trade and then bishop takes, and it's not a good outcome for black. So queen b6 is a playable move. And there's also knight to knight e7 to f5 is also a playable move sequence that could be played. So that's always playable. But he played, yeah, this does attack b2, and if he wants to, he can retreat out. It's a flexible move, but you have to always be careful. Where do you put the bishop? Kind of, do you put it here? You could put it there. I don't know. It's kind of this. I don't know about this move. I might have. Simon Williams would have probably said that knight e7 probably does have a slight problem because of bishop. Yeah. Oh, you like Ben Feingold, retreat like the Frenchman? Yeah. Knight e6 is playable there, and it's just an interesting move. I know I'm kind of like maybe just harping on it a little too much, but I guess I'm for more development. You need to get your king castled, otherwise you're going to be in the very deep of the works, and you don't want that to happen. Like this gentleman's now starting to bring his forces into the fight. Knight e7. The reason that I think he thought about moving it was this now doesn't really have any teeth to it, because you can just move your knight in. If the queen was here, this would have been a pin. So knight to e7, a3, bishop takes. So he surrendered his bishop pair. He has to at this point because it's forced. If he retreats back, he loses it. So that's kind of why this knight move was not that appealing in my opinion. Bishop takes, knight c6. Now he's trying to get, but this bishop, now the light squared bishop is like entombed for a while. So queen d2 is a playable idea. Maybe a good move would be to retreat this bishop back, try to get it in, or potentially knight. Maybe we can even try a Harry, because we know that white's going to. We could try a Harry since this is locked down, and then say to black, okay, castle h5. Now if he stops here, now we have somewhat of an in route potentially into here, and then potentially we got some rooks coming down. You never know. It's always a playable line. Bishop d2. Queen d2. Castles. Rook e1. Just trying to keep in tow with this, because the queen d8 was actually played here. I'm not sure if potentially rook to, f6 might, yeah. What if knight f-ing that, then white has, yeah. So what move would that be on? Is that back a little further? Which move are we looking at? That was earlier when black played. Oh, queen b6. So are you talking about, let me see, knight e7. Oh, knight e7. here, right? A6. Yeah, this one there wouldn't be an entrapping, because if he tried b5, then the bishop actually goes to c7. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, we'll go back to this. This is what I would play if I was Jeff, but he played queen d8, rook e3, and then f6. I think he wants to try to get his queen involved, or potentially see the whole basis of he should. I see what I see that it covers that. The idea for f6 is actually to get your bishop via here, but there's no queen there, so it's not profitable. So f6. I used to play this idea in, he says, in correspondence. My queen did her thing basically on the queen side in the opening, but I don't want to abandon the king side for too long, he said in his play. So the line went bishop b4 to attack this rook, to take scope on this rook. So the knight decided to trade. A takes. I think white seceded a little bit. I know that he's going to have to play a6 here, but I think these pawns on b2 and b4 will end up being white's, as they say, toothache in the position, or headache. They're going to be giving white a long-term disadvantage here, unless white somehow can actually get one of these traded off. But I doubt that black's going to allow that. Okay, a6. Okay, a to a3. So here. Oops, wrong. My bad. Wrong one. Right here. And then queen to e7. The idea here is to double rooks on the c file and put pressure on b4. It's not a winning idea, but it's something. That's what he said. Like when my grandmaster teacher told me, an okay plan is better than no plan at all. As long as it doesn't make you lose, having an okay plan is better than none. White played this exclam move, knight to e1. Knight e1 is an exclam. Well, he says, I like this move. He looked it up later on with a computer. He said black is slightly better here, but I thought it was a brilliant defensive resource, and my opinion of that isn't changing because of the computer evaluation that he said that c2 the c2 square would end up becoming vulnerable, so that's why his opponent retreated back. On c2, that the knight doesn't have a great deal of power on c2, but it does clog up a entry point. So it also allows f4 to be pushed too. So the reason it's potentially an okay move, like rook c4 here, f4 could be playable at this point. Like f4, it actually wasn't played, but f4 could be an idea, and then you reinstitute after you get both rooks over here. You bring your knight back in there, and now you have a lever to open up the position. And if your opponent takes here, you now still have this humongous bind in the center, which is going to cause black to have a headache for a long time. This does lose a pawn though, so you have to always think, is it worth losing a pawn over? I don't know. So he played rook, rook c4, and then knight c2. This is the main line. Knight c2, rook f to c8. So we're putting pressure on this this knight here on c2. Rook e c8 or e c3. F takes. Now it's time to take. D takes. And queen to h4 was what is a playable idea here. I'm kind of liking more bishop b5 to keep this, get this bishop to an open file, and then potentially infiltrate in via f7 to here, or potentially now we can actually come in and start taking a little attack here. But you got to be careful because the knight could always retreat back in here. So here, this is actually he took. Queen h4 is what was actually played, so we got to promote that to the main line. Queen h4. He says this looks good to me. That's what he says, and let us not forget that there are positional like disadvantages looming. The timely d4 is an idea, he says, and potentially bishop to. So these two ideas, bishop c6 would be an idea as well. But the beauty of chess is that it isn't all one-sided. So he says that he has to look at, there are two players here, and both players want to actually win. So white's not just going to let black dance basically all over the board and do what black wants to do. White's going to start doing some of the dance too on the board, bringing his knight over and kind of saying, you know what, the queen can dance, the knight can dance, this queen can dance, and the rook can dance. So let's get everybody in the dancing party with bringing these rooks over, bringing this knight over, bringing this queen, and let's see if we can't get some damage. That's kind of white's idea. Getting the two rooks here, getting the knight here, and bringing the queen somewhere into one of these 2 points here, into here, and just start attacking the king. Because black's king, in my opinion, isn't the safest it could be. White has more safety with their rooks that's protecting. So rook takes, and rook c3. Bishop f6. He played bishop b3, which was considered a dubious move here. It took. He says, I took pleasure at the fact that now, for the first time, I think white may have done something actually wrong in this position. This potentially was a wrong idea, b3. Something wrong. He will be saddled now with double pawns. Before, they were always just going to be basically a fixture of a problem for white, but now they're a big time problem. So now if I play bishop takes c3, taking the rook doesn't fix the pawns anymore. See if let's say he would have played something like this, and Jeff would have, oops, come on, is the site updating? Oh boy, how long is this update gonna take? Oh, okay, update complete. Okay, alrighty. Now, if he played this, they can white can bring his pawns back together again. But with b3, white will be saddled with isolated pawns unless the rook can get here and trade off, and then that's not impossible because of this pawn. So that's what he was saying about. That's why he's going to be saddled with a problem for the rest of the game. So rook takes, queen takes, and now for the first time in the game I feel as if it's all up to me to basically saying that he's the one that's going to be pushing. I can do whatever I want on this move. A free push in the position, basically a free advance or a tempo he has. So I better make a good tempo, basically. I could tell this move was very important, in fact. He says, I actually believe the fate of the game happened on move 28. He said this move right here was the game changer for black. Black is now the one pushing the initiative and saying, I can now start pushing back. I'm not going to be pushed around anymore. Because these, like we talked about, these isolated pawns, until they were pushed, B was pushed to B2 was pushed to B3, it wasn't really a weakness because Jeff couldn't have taken. Otherwise, they would have been repaired. The pawn structure would be repaired. But now it's an infinite weakness all the way through, unless somehow a knight can get here and a bishop can trade off. But as far as I know, the pawn's guarding that. So, and he may try something like this, but a bishop wouldn't come over and grab that knight. So, yeah, let me see. Hold on, let me a second. Excuse me, I need to get a drink. Better. He also said 28 and on move 32. So there's a move that he talked about on 32 coming up pretty soon. That's very important. These next four moves are the whole game, he says, really. It's hard to figure out over the board the ideas that sometimes are supposed to be pushed. And yeah, it all depends on, yeah, what he played was actually queen to e4. This has a devastating threat of if white's not careful, and let's say he's like, I want to just develop my knight here. Not here. We'll say I want to develop my knight. No, I guess that still would be a good move. I'm making good moves. I just want to develop my knight here. This now threatens mate. So I was actually making some of the best moves. So without even knowing it, I'm making the best defensive moves. So that's funny. I was trying to make a bad one, but I can't. But so he played e4, f3 was playable, and queen to e2 here. And so we have to promote this line to the main line. h3 is playable, and queen d1, check. King f2, and then queen to c1, queen c5, right here. This was the spot he said was there was a spot board changer on this one here on 28, and then the one that he talked about was move 32 was the tide turner. This stops many tricks in the position, he says, but it's not all over. It's not all over. Over the board, he played an inferior move of queen to d2, which is actually a dubious move. He's saying that queen d2 is dubious, but he might have thought about playing queen to b2 with the idea of attacking the pawn, excuse me, and the pushing ability coming up the board with d4. That's also an idea. But this move actually was such a dubious move, it led to a draw in 4 moves. So king g1, queen c1, king g1, or king f2. Let's see here. King d1, king g1, and queen c1. And he enjoyed this game very much. Both of them actually agreed to a draw at this point. But surprisingly, white is actually better here. Black's actually better here because of even after here, I believe that with this here, he still has the idea of b2. I think he was a little bit slightly afraid excuse me, of what white might do, but I really don't see anything that white can really do here. After queen b2, it paralyzes that knight and it paralyzes this queen, and there's really no way to save b3. And this bishop is really good at choking out the queen check on c8. So in my opinion, I would have played on and pushed. But you know what? They probably got low in time to calculate all those moves, and so they just, as a gentleman, they agreed to a draw. Okay, let's see here. We need to now go into some of our end game, and then we're going to try something new. I have some puzzles that I am bringing that we're going to work on. Alrighty. Excuse me. Allergies are not fun sometimes. Okay, dokie, let's see. We already got past this part. We got past this part. Let's do doubled isolated pawns. Oops, I have to get a a new board. Hold on. Okay, let's set up board editor and we'll start. Clear the board. 1 second. I'm gonna get a sucker real quick. There we go. That should help. Okie dokie. Let's do this thing. Doubled pawns, alright. Let's see here. Now what do we got? Let's see. The white king goes here. Black king goes here. They say, this is what Jeremy Silman says. He says, if the pawns are healthy and not rook pawns, the king and 2 pawns versus a lone king usually always wins, he says. So it's white to move here, white to move and win, black to move and draw. See, and we'll go over both lines. We'll go over white to move and win first, then we'll go over black to move and draw. Queen to f3, or king f3, king f5, we push, and king g5, king goes to g3. White does not, he's best to kind of play almost towards a draw, and then he does a push. So king g6, here, 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 here. This is kind of the lines that you have to do. Here, here. And now you just pass the move. And now black has to move and you come in and you queen. It's this one tempo that you need. And you got to be careful not to push too far with your pawn, because if you get a little too happy with the pawn push, potentially this could actually end up to be a draw. You got to be careful that it's not a drawn position. Yeah, so that's why he says sometimes just push G3, and now whatever he does, you come in and you win. So now let's go back. We're just going to go back all the way. Okay, now we're going to go back to board editor, and we're going to switch people to move, and we're going to show you how the draw works here. And I'm going to turn the board. Okay, black will go G4, and what will happen is, because there's no points to enter, white will have to go to G1 or F7. It doesn't matter if you go here. You still have the same problem here. Oops, there we go. He comes up. He gets rid of that one pawn that would have given you the tempo to win. He is the one that makes you have to move. And then this is actually what happens. I know I'm going a little fast, but this is just how the draw kind of goes. But it's all based on this here and G1. Same exact thing happens. It comes up. Every time it comes up, you pass the opposition and make the pawn have to move, and then you draw. But now you see why it was important if black to move. Black passes the opposition and controls these vital squares, and white only has basically two spots to go to, and either one draws. Now we're going to talk a little bit about stalemates with the rook pawn. So we'll get this one out of the way. It doesn't matter. He one time did a silly example of here. You can have all these pawns here. You can have as many pawns as you want, and you can even be white. You could have all these pawns that you would like to have, but it's still a draw. There's nothing you can do about it. It's still a draw because they're rook pawns. So it's a plain old draw. And there's also a way to draw here that that if white's here and black's here, this also is a potential draw as well. Black, if it's black to move, it's a draw. I don't know if it's white to move, if it's a draw. I'll have to see if he has that. Black to move, it's a draw. And I think if it's white to move, it's winning. Let me see really quick. No, it's still a draw. It doesn't matter which side it is, because he'll just keep you in the box. He won't let you out of the. So if it's white or black to move, it doesn't matter. I think though it does matter if it's black. Let me see if it's black to move. I think. Hold on. Oops, I have to have it right here. I have the king in the wrong spot. That would help. Now if it's black to move, it's winning. I knew I had something wrong. If it's white to black to move, it's a draw. But if it's white to move, it's a win in this scenario here, because white can move and play right here, and there's no way for black. He could try. I guess you'd have to play here. Sorry, I moved the wrong one. And then you have enough time to push in queen. He also talks about, we'll go into board editor again. Board editor, come on. We'll put the two kings over here. I shall put the king up here. And we'll just have it be white to move. Okay. Jeremy Silman says, if black can get to any of these squares here, he is safe to go, and it's a draw. These squares here are drawn spots for black. If black can get into any one of these squares, it's a draw to a rook pawn. And now we're going to go over something that is called entering the square. Entering the square. Let me set this up for you, and then we'll get into some puzzles that I have from Tactics from Scratch. I found some really good ones. Right there. Black to move. So what you have to do is you have to take how many squares it would take for the pawn to queen, and then you draw the same amount, and you draw the same out here. If it's black to move, which it is, black can stop the pawn. If it's white to move, then black wouldn't be able to stop the pawn. See, I'll show you right here. Boom, boom. So it can't stop the pawn here. It can't stop the pawn. Now we're going to switch it to it's white to move, and you'll get to see the difference in this is now the new square, the new entry point that black has to enter into. Even though it's black to move, he doesn't have enough time to enter in. And so what you can do is actually find out what the square is potentially. One that's always the coolest that I think of is this. Oops, I gotta do board editor. Oops, get this out. So you're thinking that, wow, let's see if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, right here. This is actually the square. You're thinking that this is actually the square, and could black actually enter? Let us find out. See, this pawn has a unique ability of actually going to squares. So if black is to move here, you can go up. So now this would be the C4. He still can't enter. Even if it's black to move, he still can't enter there because of the two move rule. But black could enter if the king was positioned here and it's black to move. Even though it's 4, he's in the square. Actually, sorry, 4 is over here. Oops, sorry. And it's black to move. He enters into the box. See? He's in here. As long as he's in this, any of these inside, in the line or inside the line, on the line with his move, he can stop it. There's also a little trick of an endgame trick that sometimes this will actually happen too. Come on, get back to board editor. Let's see here. Actually, we'll do this here. I need to get black pawns. Sorry about that. Hold on. And we'll have it be white to move. And actually, I'll have it be. Hold on. Did I do that right? Sorry, I have the kings in the wrong spot. That was my fault there. Okay, now it's white to move. There's a little trick here. If he queens. Wait a second. Actually, it has to be. Sorry, black has to move. Sometimes that's. I forget the little trick that you gotta remember here. If black queens, white queens, check, you can actually win. If it's like that, it's kind of funny. Never give up if you have a position like this, because when the checks happen, he can't advance, but off to the side, and you win. Okay, let's see here. Alrighty, we'll stop here, and then we'll go into the puzzles that that I set up. There we go. So that's puzzle 1. Let's see, yep, I got it right. So it's black to move. What do you think the best move for black is? Here, it's black to move. Black to move. I'll give you a second to think about it. It's black to move. I'll be right back. So give it your best. I have the solution, so don't worry about it. And we'll go over it. So give it your best. And it's black to move. see if you're right. Yes, you are right. Rook d3 is the correct move. Black is doing quite well after rook d3. White simply resigned here. I believe there was a game supposedly that this came to. We'll see if there. No, there was a game. It was played by Zapat, and I can't pronounce their gentleman's name. It was in Erlington or some. It was played in Arlington or TON in 2010. So it's a recent game. Okay, now that we got this one, we're going to go on to puzzle number 2. Okay, this is a little bit harder. This is it's black to move again. Black to move again. Let me see if I have this right. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Ah, perfect. No, wrong one. No, hold on. Hold on. Just bear with me. I gotta make sure I have these in the right order. Ah, here we go. I gotta flip the board though. Oh no, it's black to move. So we're good. Black to move. Let me see if. No, it's still not the right one. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Dang it! Something's wrong here. I'm missing. There's one that's. We already did that one. I had to find out which one is which here. Oh, this is number 4. Okay, we'll do number. This is puzzle 4. I somehow put them in instead of going down. I put them side, and so this is puzzle 4. This is a little bit harder of one. So it's in the book it's considered a 2-star. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5-move sequence. So let's give you a hint. It's a 5-move sequence. And it's I believe it's white to move here. Yeah, white to move in this line. So this one is white to move. White to move. Do you have any ideas here that you're thinking about? Oh, knight g3. Close, but think of a ultimate sacrifice. Think sacrifice, and that'll get you. And try to do lines if you can. I'm giving you a hint. Sacrifice and try to take it out maybe 3 or 4 moves, or even if just 2 moves to start out to build up your line analyzing, because otherwise one move doesn't allow you to see deep enough into the board, because the ones we're going to be doing the further we go into the book, this is 2 stars. So there's going to be 3, 4, and 5 star ones, which is going to be about maybe 10 moves long. So we have to slowly build up our calculation lines. Think sacrifice. I'll throw out a couple starter moves. I'll give you about 4 moves to choose from to help you get started. Rook takes B7, or is it C5, or is it Rook E2, or actually I'll throw out 5. Queen A6, or let me see here. Rook A2. Which of these moves would be a good starter move? You take one of them is right, and the other ones are wrong. So there's only one that's right, and you can work through the ones you want and see if they work out. Which one do you think is the move that the player played here? This is your water. It's cold. First of all, just tell me which one you chose, because I want you to go down the right line out of those 5. Was it Rook takes B, C5, Rook E2, Queen A6? Okay, Queen A6, perfect. That's the right starter move. Now, what is Black gonna play after Queen A6? What would be the best counter move to that? And by the way, hold on, I should say this. Let's play it out. I should say this. What is White's idea based on Queen A6? What do you think White was planning with Queen to A6? Why would White willingly give up the queen? What's the idea behind Queen A6? And you can work it out in a line if you want to. It all depends what line, what idea, which means you could put a line in. What is the idea that White wants Black to play? Perfect, yeah. Queen takes A, right. Correct. And then Rook takes E, and now this bishop's trapped. Exactly. So this is what White wants. White wants Black to take. So what would, yeah. Well, think of protection what would be a good protective move for black, but to still keep the attack going? Black wants to defend his bishop, but he wants to also prepare for an attack. So how can he what are the two defensive moves would be the best? Which of the rooks? So you have two rooks to choose from. Which rook would you want to move? Would you want to move c7 or rook to d7? Which one of those rooks do you want to move? Because he moved a rook. One of these rooks. Which one of these rooks would you think would be the best counter? Which one of these? Rook C. That would be a good move, except if he played rook C, he actually potentially has a idea of pushing here. See, the idea is that he could potentially push, and if queen takes, the rook could actually take here, and you're losing material. And if pawn takes, you've just gotten forked. And this is kind of one of the ideas based on this is the forking idea. Yes, you do kind of have a pickle. So I see what you're saying. I believe that would potentially work. Let's see, what's white's best response here? Because there's really not a response for c7 in the book. Oh, queen takes. Okay. Okay, that wins the pawn. Okay, that's why. Okay, so a6. It's actually rook d7 is actually the best move. So the line goes queen a6, rook d7. That's black's move. Now, what would be a good counter blow for white here? What would white want to play here? Now that this queen takes is not playable, I mean this actually takes is a threat. What is a good move for white? I'll throw out three. Queen a4, queen rook d2. That's good. Or queen takes b6, or queen a2. Which one of those moves, the queen moves, would be favorable for white in this line? Correct. That's actually the best move. So we want to promote this to the main line. So far, so good. We're doing good now. Great work on spotting that. Black played a mistake here. So what looks like a mistake, it doesn't sacrifice a piece, it's just a mistake, is I'll throw it out there for you. Rook that would be a mistake, big time mistake there. Rook takes c4, rook c7, or rook c5. Hold on, I had to put orders in there. Which one of those rook moves would be a mistake? If you were to look at the position, rook takes, or do you mean rook takes c4? Yes, that is right. That was actually played. It was a mistake though, or inaccurate move. The best possible move, yeah, takes. Yes, that is. Yeah, that was played. Sorry. I will throw out a couple moves for white here. Okay. Rook e2. Queen takes b7. I'm going to throw out 4 moves. Rook takes b7, or rook f2 to a2. Yeah. Which one of those is White actually made a mistake back. They actually White made a mistake as well. So, and you have to first of all pick out. Oh, wait a second. Did I forget? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to add the one that was potentially. Hold on. I have to throw in a 6th one because I want to keep it all rallied up a little bit. I forgot. Yeah, we should do 6 of them in there. Okay, did I? Let's see. Here. All right. Sorry, I forgot to throw in a couple. Another one I was thinking of. So which one of these is the move that white played that was a mistake? And the question is, find the mistake, but find the one that actually in here is the best one for white. Which one is the best one for, which one is the one that was a mistake for white, and which one is the best one for white? There's one with a mistake, and then there's one that's actually the exclam move. So I added the exclam move and the mistake in among the lot. So you have to pick which one's the mistake and which one's the best move. There is no rook c2. Rook d2 mistake. Oh, best. Okay, almost. You got to try. You got the mistake right. You got the mistake right. So perfect job on the mistake. But what is the best move? The best move wasn't the correct best move. It's not that it's a mistake. It's not that it's bad. It just wasn't the best move. What is the best move here? Try to look for the best move. You got the mistake right. So out of 2, you got 50%. You just have to complete that other 50%. Try again on finding the best move. It's kind of one that you wouldn't think would be the best for white. I just moved it back so that you have another shot. You found the correct one that actually was played in the game. So congratulations on that, Yuri. But what is the best one though? Just think of in all those lines, which one feels like the strongest one. Almost. Queen takes. Yeah, it looks tempting. But if we actually took, then he could take. And what would happen is if we took back, he could take, and then he'd be winning at that point. So that's not that's a good try. Try again. See if you just look at the position, visualize it, and just visualize what's the best move. This is a really hard one to find. It's a difficult rook move to find. So I'll just give you a hint. It's one of the rook moves. But I'm glad you're stretching that. So you're doing really good by taking the initiative to work on it. So hey, my chess friends out there as well, you can follow in suit with Erie, and you can actually help Erie out if you'd like. You can propose out of these 6 moves as well. You can choose which one's the best one. So you can come on board. We can be a team and work through this. I know you know which one it is. Don't. One thing I had to learn. Yes, you found it. Great job. You found the correct best move. Rook e3 is the best move. Excellent work. Excellent. Rook e2, sorry, not e3. Rook e2, great work. Nice work. That would have won the bishop on b7. Rook e2 would have won the bishop on e7 because of after takes, rook takes, and queen takes. Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Rook takes. Hold on. What is? Let me see. Yeah, queen take. Oh, queen. Let's see. Hold on. Queen takes. Oh, bishop takes. Sorry, my bad. I put the wrong one in. And then if rook takes here, rook check would win. Rook check would win because there's no. You can throw all the pieces in, and it still leads to mate. You can. It's funny. You can gobble the whole entire black army, and it ends in mate. One rook. So congratulations on finding the best move, and congratulations on finding the move that was actually in the game. So excellent work. All right. What? A black also. It's funny. They both made a mistake. Black made a mistake on this one too, and I'll throw out four moves for you to actually play. Rook c1, rook takes d2, rook d7 to c7, or rook c7, or sorry, c4 to c7. Which one of those is the move that was actually played in the game? There's one that's in the lot there. There's oops. There's one that was played in the game. I didn't put the one that was actually the best one, but I'll ask you kind of to find the one that would have actually held for black, the which is the best one, but also find the one that was played in the game, which is actually a mistake. What did black play out of these four moves that was a mistake? And let me see. And I apologize. I forgot to put the one that was actually the best one in there. So you gotta kind of work on finding what do you think the best move. It's a rook move though. That's actually the best move, and it's a rook move. That's the word that is a mistake for black. I'll put the arrows so that you can see what we're talking about here. Is it this move? Is it this move? Oops, sorry. Ah, drat. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got the arrows crossed. Is it this move? Oops, sorry. Is it this move here? Or is it this move? Is it this move for this move or captures? I hope I'm trying not to confuse you. These are hard to actually. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put an arrow for that because this rook, is it this rook here that moves here? Actually, let me do them individually. Sorry. Is it rook c1? Is it rook c4 to c7? Is it rook c7? Or is it rook takes d4? Rook c1 is your best. Rook c2. Yep, that's right. This rook, you're right on. Let me see here. Let me see here. Actually, the best. What would be his most? What's his mistake of an idea? I'll give you the best. So the best move is actually rook c7. That's actually his best move. What is his worst move? What is his worst move? Yeah, that's his best move. Close, but think of something even worse than even that. Think of something even worse that would cost him the game almost. It's a move that almost costs him the game. Yes, exactly. That's the mistake. Right on. Right on. Because he actually takes here, and that's a mistake. Now this is a tougher one to find. Okay. Rook a7. Excuse me. Rook a7 check. Rook takes b7. I'll just throw 3 out there so it's not so confusing. I'll just throw 3 out there. Our knight takes d2. Oops, d2. Which one of those is the best move? It's actually, there's an the exclam move. So this is not just the best move. This is an excellent move. What is the most excellent move? Boom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That gets that. Oh yeah. Nice job. Nice work. That's right. You solved it. That's it. That's an exclam right there. Nice job. Okay. Black. What move did black play here? I'm going to throw 3 out. Queen e8. Rook dc2, or rook takes g2 check. Oops, I forgot to throw one more in. Sorry. Hold on, I gotta throw one more in. Almost. Think Desperado, and that should help you. Think Desperado. Oops, I gotta move these. Yeah, boom, that's right. What would have been a hit? It's not the best move, but what would have kind of saved the position slightly here? What would have kind of been a slightly saving move here that would have out of this, I threw in a saving move. It's not the best move, it's not a bad move, it's an average one. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're on our way up there, but we're trying something new right now. We're doing some puzzles. Yeah, great job. This is what was played in the game, but excellent work on finding the saving move. This is the move that saves the position. It's basically the life preserver of the position. It's kind of like one of those moves that if you can't find it, you're in trouble. Yeah, he would have had this that had been played, and kind of it's one of those things that are still a little difficult that you would still have. It's not really a saving move. It's what the author says would have kind of slightly been. Actually, I don't understand that move. He actually put it in there. I think this maybe we misunderstood it. Maybe he meant C. Sorry about that. I think he might have meant D. Did he might have meant D8? Did he mean? I think it was. I think that might have been a typo. I think this is the only move though. Man, this is a tough one. Maybe because this is hanging here, so I guess he has to play there. Wow, I don't understand. This one I think still loses, doesn't it? Oh, it holds the. Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay. It holds the two rooks. It keeps the two rooks. You do have to exchange it for the queen. Okay, I got it now. I got it. Okay, because it's kind of like I really didn't want to have to do that, but I guess that's the only way to save the game. Otherwise, you get checkmated. Okay, what is the move that was played here? Is it king takes g2 or king h1? Are you sure about that? What did economy always say? I like this. What was economy's thing on Allied chess puzzles? He always said what? Take the material. Remember that? That was his thing, and then he had that one guy that was the little emoji that was shouting. So what do you think the best move is? It's not King H1. So what do you think the best move is? Yep, exactly. And his opponent actually at this point resigned. Let's see if the game. Let's see if they. Nope, no game. Let's see which one. Let's see which one is which here. I'm trying to. Okay, so we did 4. We did 1. Let's see which one is this. Okay, this is 3. What is the best move for white here? Because there's only one move in this puzzle, I'm gonna allow you to work on it because if I gave it to you, then the other one had like four different lines, or not lines, but 4 move sequences. This is just a 1 move win. So white to move and win. Great job so far, Erie. You're doing excellent. So keep up the good work. You ever and Chess Cruncher viewers, you're all welcome to participate. So, what do you think the move is? You can join Erie in this puzzle experience. All you're getting close, but that is you got to try again. Try another move. Look at this. Look at the position. Look at the board, and think of what would be the best move for white. Because you're going to end up getting this type of position in a game. Look at the entire board. Look at the setup, and see what would be the best move. Because A1 does potentially look like a good move. It does, but if we played A1, right? I'll show you what would happen. I know what your idea is, but there's that. So that would actually be what would happen with A1. So I'll try to work out the ideas when you like put a move down. We'll go over that idea. It's able to be blocked. Good try though. I gotta say you're thinking the right way. You're going down the right track, Erie. Queen takes c5. Okay. Queen takes c5. Knight takes c5, and you'd have to, at this point, you'd have to retreat your knight. You'd have to retreat your knight because you would lose the knight. So even if we played, let's see here, let's get rid of this. This would probably be the best move. And then something like this in here. And so doesn't feel like white has enough compensation. So give it try again, because you're finding good moves, but there's only one best move, and this one gets an exclam mark. So this one is an excellent move. It's kind of one of those moves that, you know how we would miss very easy moves. This is kind of like an easy one to overlook. So just try your best. Think just sometimes I find that if I close my eyes for a second, and then I just breathe for a second, and then I open them again, I get a new perspective on that, on what the board, add a look at the board, and sometimes I'm able to solve the puzzles better that way. And then open, and then when you felt like your clarity has come back together, and you have that clarity moment, then you can open your eyes and look. Sometimes you may have to close them for a little bit of time, however long it takes, but then when you open them, it's for some reason it's like I can see it at that point. So what's the best move for white here? Yeah, I'll put up some moves. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let me repost that. I forgot to put an or between one of those. Which one of those out of those moves is the exclam move? Yep, exactly. Because if takes, rook takes his mate, and if the king moves, rook takes queen, and if the king moves, rook takes queen. So, yeah, isn't that interesting how it looks like this rook c1 is actually an impossible move, but because of the knight guarding these 2 points here, there's actually a mate, and even if the queen grabs, you win. So it's like, wow. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna see where 2 is. Let me see. 2 is a good one too. Let me see which one is 2. Not that one. Nope. Nope. Is it this one? Hold on, let me make sure. No. Hold on. Give me a second. I apologize. Hold on. No, no, no. That's not it. That's 4. D3 was right. There. Hold on. I'm trying to find out which one is 2 here. I think I might have put a double one in. Hold on. Hold on. Oh boy. Boy. Nope. I think I'll set up 2 because it's a pretty good one. Hold on. Let me set 2 up. Give me a second. I must have done a copy on one. Hold on. Alright. Let's see, where do I put my bishop? Right there. Okay, now it's white pawns. White pawns, come on. Okay, and the white knight. White bishop. Where's the king? Where's the king? Oops. Wouldn't we love to have 2 queens? White would love that. Okay, now I need to place my king properly. Okay, let me see if I have 2 set up right. Hold on. So far, so good. So good. So far, so good. So far, so good. Let's see that. Yep. Okay. Black to move. Okay. This is an exclam move. This gentleman's name, his name is A Hunt versus Cheperv, and I don't know how to I don't know this city. It's Plovdic 2010. So it's not sure how to pronounce that. So the ones I don't know how to pronounce, I spell out. It's black to move here. It's a one move, but it's an exclam, so it's an excellent move. Look at the board and think about it for a little bit of time, and um, think of lines. Give it your best effort, and then if you need help, I'll give you like 6 choices to choose from. But try your best before you ask for help. These are tactical puzzles, so think tactics. That I'm giving you a hint. Think tactics. Perfect job. Do you have kind of a line of what can you get? That is correct. But can you give me a potential line? Can you make a line out of bishop h6? What would white play and what would black play to win? So you have the right move. You got the right move, but try to work it out to the end. So congratulations on that. Yep, nice work. Exactly. That's right. Here, here. What if black... this is just me. What if white played knight h4? What would be the counter to that? What would you play for a win? I'm just throwing out a move to see what you think. What would you play here? Because you already solved what was in the book. I'm just coming up with one. Yeah. Okay. Exactly correct. So now what would you play? Yep, there you go. And guess what? Perfect job on that because you actually worked through. This wasn't in the book, and you worked through it. Excellent. Let me set up another puzzle. Hold on. Let me see what we got here. Clear the board. Let me see what would be a good one. Thinking of one that I had priorly. Let's see, knight here, and we'll have bishop right there. We'll have rook here. Oops, I need another rook. It's white to move. What would be the best move for white here? White to move. Oops, hold on. I need to. 1 second. I apologize. Give me a second. I need to add one move. One thing. I knew I forgot something. Hold on. I apologize. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me see. What was it? What is that one that I was thinking about? Ah, that's right. The bishop was right here. Sorry about that. I knew I forgot something. I knew I forgot something there. Okay. This is the right one. What's the best continuation for white? And what's the best continue? And then what would be a good continuation for black? We'll do it from white side. What's the best for white? And then we'll have black move. A6. Almost. That is one good line. That is one good line as well. But what would be another line that you can do a right alongside with that? So that is one of the lines, yes. There's one more move that wins as well, and then I'm gonna put it as black to move, and I want you to find the best defensive move. So I'll change it to be black's turn, because this is a really good spot for a defensive move, a thing. You have one of the moves right. There's actually two moves, but you got one that's right. The first one is right, so you have another one that's a cool one too. So think tactics. Yeah, that's a good one too. But what's the most forcing one? Now c5, yeah, that would work. C5 would work, but what is the most what's a really forcing one that's like just crushing? That's just like, that's like a sledgehammer, like, a sledgehammer blow. Or I like to call it a catapult against the castle walls. What would be a catapult blast against the castle wall? And the only problem with c5 would be that the bishop could actually take too. So, but this is a good move. This is a good move, a6. But there's another move too. I'll throw out 4 moves for you to choose from. Knight c5, knight c3, bishop c6, or bishop a6. Which one of those is the correct move? You have to. I like the Indiana Jones. Choose wisely. That was good. Sorry about drinking in the mic, but that's good tea. There's knight. You have these choices to choose from. You have knight f, knight here, bishop, or bishop. Which one of these bishop moves? I mean, which one of the knight or bishop moves? Sorry, would be playable. Which one would you think is playable? Think the most forcing. Think like brute force. Think that you want to come down. Think mate. Think mate. Think checkmate. And I'll pull off these things now so that they're not distracted anymore. That's a close. The interesting line is actually, surprisingly, bishop a6. I know that's a surprising setup, but I'm sorry. I think that was wrong. Oops. Yeah, you were right. There was no other forcing line. I'm sorry. Drat. For some reason I thought this was pinned. You're right. There is no other forcing line. C6. I guess that would be the other one. Yeah, because if you take, yeah, there you go. You got it. I think I had it mixed up. I think C6 would have actually been the move that is actually a strong one. Because then now you have the ability to potentially come in, and if he pushes, now you can bring your knight in. He could potentially go there, but so maybe at this point, I'm trying to think what another good move line would be. Taking. That'd be a good one. Yep, there you go. Oh no, a6 did work. A6 was, you were right. For some reason I thought there was another one there. I apologize. You were right, there wasn't one. But there was an alternate one that I did look at that was this and here. And yeah, good job though. You were right. There was nothing. And there is a forcing mating line there. Because of this pin, there's a mating there. So that's kind of the line. But for some reason, that you know what, I even have to work on tactics a little bit on that. I missed that. Sorry about that. But you are right. A3 does work, because if you take here, then he takes there, and you're threatening mate, and there's no really way to stop the mate, because there's no way to stop it. Even if he plays there, that's mate, and this pin is a deadly pin. And so what we'll do is here I'll throw it into editor. Let me see, how much time do we have left still? Okay. Well, what I'll do is this. I'm gonna put it in as black, for black to move here, and I want you to try to find the best continuation for black as a defensive move. Let me copy, and then I'll paste it in. I should do that for you. I didn't think about that. But then you can kind of work on it, and you know, work and make do it a little bit, because then you can click on it and pull it up and move it around as a work thing. Okay, because I'm probably going to have to call it a day for tonight, so I'm going to put this out there for y'all to have a puzzle to work on. This is a black to move. It's a defensive puzzle. Is there a way for black to survive? Basically, the white wants to crush him with a6, which is what Erie found, which is right. There is, I apologize about that, there is no b6. For some reason I thought this pawn was pinned and that he had to push, but he actually doesn't have to push. So what's the defense? There's only one defense, or two defenses I guess you could play, but I only see one. I'll throw out some moves for you to work on so you can see. Let me see here. Bishop. Oh, and I'll send you away with this bishop. Oh, a6. A6 is a good one too. Yeah, that would work. A6 is one. There's a couple, I guess. A6. There's also another one. So I guess there is two. So a6, that's right, and then there's one more that's kind of a funny looking one, but it potentially it's actually what I thought of, and I'll put the moves out there for you. So a6 is one. There's really two. There's king b8. Let me see, what's another one? Or bishop d6. Or let me see here, b6. I'll throw one more out there. Or rook c8. There's some rook c8 is a possible escaping one, but there's one that's kind of a cooler one. Oops, Don't look at one that's kind of a it's kind of one that I was thinking about. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I like this move here because I was thinking that potentially a6, and yes, there's a pin here, but now that this pin's gone, black can actually block. But you were right. A6 is a move that's playable. Is also playable as well for black. But this is the one I was actually thinking of. This was kind of the one I was thinking of. Because it just looks so cool. And so I think we'll probably call it on that, and then we'll pick up tomorrow. Do you have any questions? And let me see. Did we already? Okay, we did this one here, so I'll send this into the chat too. Copy. This is one that we worked on, and if you want to work on it, you can. And this is one that we worked on as well. And I'll send this one for you to work on too, as like homework for fun. And then there. Here's one I think we worked on. Let me see. What's the other one? Oh, it's from this one. Well, the one that I did here was actually one that I made up on the kind of the fly, because the other ones that we need to work on have like a pretty long continuation. So I tried to make one up that would be, you know, kind of fun for both sides. So this is one kind of that I made up. So that's why it kind of had a little bit of flaws in it. Kind of, I tried to make one up that was interesting, that kind of looked more like you know how Ginger would have a crushing one. But so it's kind of I made up. But let me see. I'll get the one. Let me see. Did I do this one here already? Let me see. 5K. I'll send this one because we worked on this one too. I think, did I already do this one? Yeah, rook. Where rook c where? It's from. Sorry, the ones that we were working on. This one I made up, but the other ones there was one that I made up, but it's actually from How to Reassess Your Chess. Not reassess your chess. Sorry, chess tactics from scratch. It's so. The author is I believe this is. Let me see. I have to make sure I'm putting that in there right. Hold on, let me just, I have to put on AFK just for a sec. Hold on. Yep, that's, yes. Yes, that's exactly right. That one should, yeah, that one's right. It's, yep, you got it right. It's that one. And that's the author. It's his second edition, not his first one. So it's his second edition. He has two editions. So that's good. And these are just some puzzles. One of them that kind of had a lot of different ideas to it was one that I made up. I tried to make one up on the fly because the other ones were had like a lot of lines that you can go down. I gotta say his puzzles you should go through the entire book and then do his puzzles in the back, and they're really good for learning. Okay. Do you have any questions before I log off? All right. Great job, all, and thank you for the patience with the last puzzle. I tried to make one that was kind of an interesting one that had a Greek gift kind of set up to it and kind of coordination of pieces. You know what? I remember what E. Nightingale says. We become what we think about. So whatever we think about, if we think positive thoughts, then that'll end up becoming what we actually believe the road we go down. Like in Pillar's Progress, if you get off that road, you'll end up at the castle of Despawn, which is not good. So every long journey begins with one small step. That was the Yazir Sarawan's quote, Grandmaster. And I like the quote that "Don't give up, get up." That's from me. I thought of that one. Bruce Lee has knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do. And he said he feared them. He did not fear the man who had practiced 10,000 individual kicks, but he feared the man who had practiced one kick 10,000 times. So yeah, that's a big one. And then there's the ones from Mission Critical. Treasure your victories and learn from your losses, and remember that mistakes do not define you. It is how you handle the mistake that defines you as a person and a chess player in whatever field you're in. Let me see, what else is there a good one? Oh yeah, the Rusty. I like the one when Little Engine and Rusty, when he goes, "If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right." So in the end, it's all about the route you want to go down. If you're willing to put in the time and be a chess cruncher, your route is a route for chess of good and tactics and fun and improving and going to the board knowing that you can do it. And you know what? We have, I know I talk about the grounds a lot, that there's the rocky ground, the wayward, and then the weedy ground, and then the fertile ground. It's not an easy thing to keep your ground well weeded, and you have to give up things sometimes that you think are important that actually bite into your studying, and that's even with your job as well. You have to remember, if you think of chess as fun, and you think of it as serious as a job, then you have the perfect mix. But always remember that the Lord has given you a gift in the talent that you're in, and to always honor and glorify Him. And like what Job said, he said that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And you know what? When he in those times that He taketh away. It's not the easiest time to say, you know what, I'll still serve you no matter what. That's not the easiest time. But you know what? In the end, when those bountiful times happen, it'll be all worthwhile. So you know what? Be a chess cruncher. Remember what do when we're studying and most are playing and doing other stuff, and they come over and say, "What you doing?" I'm a chess cruncher. What's a chess cruncher? Remember, we hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study. When most won't, we do, and that makes all the difference. That is a chess cruncher. You could tell them, and they'll either say cool and sit down and yeah, you could teach them, or they'll shrug their shoulders and go away. Either way, you planted the seed. And I'll leave you with that. It's Wesley So It Says for the Lord Jesus. As I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll keep moving forward and improving. And I'll bring a few more tactics, maybe a 1 or 2 or 3 move tactic ones. We'll have to see, and we'll work through them, and we'll improve and keep moving forward. Great job, go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah, be blessed, and keep being a chess cruncher always. Bye bye.